Welcome all. This is the Trusted Referral Network. We are a network of small independent marketing agencies, consultancies, etc., around the country. We get together twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesdays. So today's the fourth Tuesday. It's 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. in Rome, and I guess 2 p.m. on the West Coast. And the idea is to meet people that you might have an opportunity to collaborate with, refer business to, all in the marketing world. And the idea is that because we're all providing marketing services, marketing and some sales services, we understand each other's businesses better, and our clients are more likely to need complementary services that other people in the network offer. We usually have a showcase at each of our meetings. We take 15 minutes and somebody goes into a deep dive. We don't always have somebody prepped for it. So John Parsons from IntuIdeas is going to talk a little bit about. Take it away, John. What is it?
Oh, you.
Yes, John. You.
No, cool. That's cool. No, as some of you know, I'm a ghostwriter who also has ended up in the video business. So we produce videos for promotional purposes for a whole range of businesses. One of them, because of my connections in publishing, is book trailers. So we do short videos for authors who are trying to build their platform or promote their new book or do book launch events and things like that. So we've been doing a disproportionate amount of those. Maybe that's going to be our calling. We don't know. But I talked to a new publisher through another networking group, and her primary clientele are fiction books for a woman's readership. So not romance novels per se, but semi-autobiographical, inspirational, but largely they're about 80% fiction. So we had to talk about my company doing video trailers. She wasn't quite sure, so they gave us a test, and I think they are pitting us against a couple of other video studios. We haven't got the gig yet, but they sent us artwork, a book cover, illustration, script, and we said sure, we'll do it on spec. And one of our guys produced it, and I'll show you the results. But fair warning, when we started this, none of the four of us have any interest in this kind of book whatsoever. I mean, my wife narrated the voiceover, and she did a great job. But this is just not our cup of tea. We've done some fiction book trailers, but this was new to us. But they sent us artwork that was AI generated, and we thought that's fine. And you'll see it in the trailer. And then they said, some of the people you're competing against will be using AI voiceovers. So I said, fine. So we decided internally that we're going to do our normal thing, do a voiceover, and then do a second version of it, which I guess I can play if you really want to, just to see what it was like. So I opened up I think it was called Murph is the subscription service. And we specified female, inspirational, and we made a lot of corrections because the AI kept mispronouncing certain words. So you can get in the editor and you can tweak it. So we made two versions of it. And then in the artwork, it's actually quite beautiful, but it was one layer. It wasn't layered. So one of my guys outlined the figure in the photograph, cut her out of the photograph, or of the painting, sorry. And then in the blank space left over, Adobe has a fill called Content Aware, which is an AI fill. So it basically said, look around digitally and fill in what's left. So we ended up with a scene in a restaurant, and then the heroine of the story in the foreground. We were able to do things with layers. So we both competed against AI and we used AI in the same project. And I'll give you a peek. This is just a draft. Share. And they moved everything. So can you all see the thumbnail?
It's yeah,
Yeah.
there.
Yep. Cool.
There's a little bit. This is some of the artwork they submitted. There's going to be a little bit of jerky motion over Zoom, but here you go.
Have you ever dreamed of leaving it all behind and starting anew? Of finding your true calling in the most unexpected of places? That's exactly what happens to Cami Jacobs, the unforgettable heroine of Jessica Dowdle's delicious new novel, A Taste of Place. Cami ditches her high-powered job to explore her love of food and cooking. She doesn't realize she'll not only change her own life, but the lives of everyone she meets. Get ready to savor every page of this unforgettable novel by Jessica Dowdle, which serves as the reminder that home is where we make it, and that the most satisfying journeys are often the ones we never planned. A Taste of Place is a book that will nourish your soul.
John, very cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
right.
work.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't like this kind of book I don't read this kind of book. And I'm usually, when we do a book trailer, one of us sits out and doesn't get real heavily involved in the final cut so we can experience it fresh. And I started to get weepy, and I hate this kind of book because he did a really good job. I mean, they did transition.
Right.
Ellen and Sam both worked on it, and they did the transition from black and white to color. They did the layers, they did motion, and they just did what they eliminated a lot of the artwork they sent us, and just picked out some stuff that we felt worked. But it was, and I have I think I have the AI version. Do you want to hear? You want to hear the difference?
So the AI voiceover, yeah, sure.
The AI voiceover is, let me see if I can find it.
Same script.
Exact same script. We had to speed it up a little bit, like 110%, to match. So sorry, let me get back. 1 second. So I'll share again. I think. Ooh. Can you see the blank screen?
Should be yes.
Here we go again then.
Have you ever dreamed of leaving it all behind and starting anew? Of finding your true calling in the most unexpected of places? That's exactly what happens to Cami Jacobs, the unforgettable heroine of Jessica Dowdle's delicious new novel, A Taste of Place. Cami ditches her high-powered job to explore her love of food and cooking. She doesn't realize she'll not only change her own life, but the lives of everyone she meets. Get ready to savor every page of this unforgettable novel by Jessica Dowdle, which serves as a reminder that home is where we make it, and that the most satisfying journeys are often the ones we never plan. A Taste of Place is a book that will nourish your soul.
Not as bad as I thought it would be, actually, but
well, we had to tweak it. We had to tweak it a lot.
Yeah,
and it still had a little uncanny valley feel to it to me.
Yeah.
And for a romantically slanted emotional story, it just
you need a live voiceover, a real voiceover artist.
Well, I'll let you guys, if we get the gig, because they have a whole host of authors who want trailers, so this is potentially a really big thing for us. But if we lose out over AI, I guess I won't feel that bad, but that gives me an idea of what we're up against.
So what would you charge for something like that, either with or without the AI, with the AI or with the natural voiceover, or would it matter all that much?
It's almost a wash in cost.
Right.
I mean, we did the voiceover internally, so it was one of us.
Right.
If we hired voice talent, it would be a couple $100 difference. But there's a couple $100 worth of labor in customizing, because you have to drop the text in. You have to say, like, the AI said a taste of place, and naturally would be a taste of place. So you have to highlight the word, and it has different pronunciations for the word that you can choose, but you have to know the phonetic alphabet to know what it means, because it doesn't record it just says, you know, all the little cryptic symbols that you have in the dictionary for pronunciation. So it was about an hour's worth of tweaking, and that's not, you know, we have to, and plus you have to subscribe to the AI service, which is a monthly. So it's maybe a little bit more expensive with live, but I think our base price for a 90 we try to normalize it for clients. Our base price for a book trailer that's 90 seconds long plus a 30-second cut for social is around $2,500,
right?
Which is on the low side compared to some studios. But I don't think people can make money if they just turn out stuff with just AI, in my opinion, of course.
Right. You know, $2,500 is very reasonable. I think that's very competitive for 90 seconds. All right,
until we get them hooked, and then we can bump it. No, I'm kidding.
Anybody else have thoughts or feedback?
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
started
really
out,
like it.
Go
I was
ahead,
gonna say,
Michael.
it started something pretty good. Although the longer it went on, the longer you sort of pick up little, like there were like some odd pauses and a couple of just like pronunciations that were just like a little off. Or I thought the tone of the voice was a little lighter, which I thought worked better for me than the live one.
Right. I mean, you have choices. You can pick different personas.
Yeah.
And in the version that we subscribed to, we didn't get the pro version. The only one that had inspirational in the tags that you can use was a middle-aged Black woman, and you got a sample of her voice, and that was what you got. You couldn't make it deeper, but you could, in the pro version, I assume you can pick all different ranges of people and voice characteristics. Pick the one you like. You put in text, and it does a fairly decent job of synthesizing a voice saying those words. But then you have to, and they also have British and Australian accented people too, which we didn't use, but it would be interesting.
I mean, 'cause now that I think of it, it might have been different if I didn't know it was AI, because since I knew it was AI, I was looking.
Yeah, I kind of
spots, you know, I was looking,
spilled it.
and there were a couple of subtleties here and there that I picked up on. But I think had I just been listening to it, you know, like normally, they may have whizzed right by me. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm a little nervous about, because a lot of videos are produced this way, because anybody can subscribe to this. And if you combine it with, let's say, Canva, because you can produce templated videos.
Right. Yeah.
Which undercuts us all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
My argument with publishers is, oh, so you want your book trailer to sound like everybody else's?
Probably.
And if they say, yeah, I'll say, well, great talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't seem like that much of a, it's not a huge investment for getting something good. So, and there's actually, from what I understand, I mean, I think I've used voiceover. You know, you can pay for good talent, as you said, for $100-200. It's not that much.
It really isn't. And the people who I work with, there's one male voice actor that I use who to me sounds more like Bryan Cranston, and he has that really authoritative, rough, you know, pleasant voice. But and the woman we use a lot has done a lot of ebooks, a lot of ebook narration. So she's a very easy to listen to speaker, and worth the price in my view.
All right, so why don't we move on from here? John, do you want to? We'll take it 3 minutes each person, maybe a little bit longer. Do you want to just talk about the rest of what you do?
Well, I'm a ghostwriter. It's my other full-time job, and I do mostly nonfiction. Well, all nonfiction writing. I edit other people's work too. and our video business sprang out of one of my books. Our book, a book I wrote was a college textbook that required 350 videos. So my two sons, who have video and design experience, were, depending on who's telling the story, were drafted or recruited to help me with the project. And that's why we decided to turn it into an actual business. And that's pretty much it. We have a studio right across the hall where we produce folks' videos.
What are you ghostwriting nowadays?
I'm working on two different leadership books. I'm editing one and ghostwriting the other. One is a very unconventional book on leadership called Thinking Outside the Boss. And fascinating approach. I'll let you guys know when it's available, because it really is. It's, if I do say so. I mean, he's got some novel ways to talk about leadership. And
Thinking outside the boss, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has that reaction, and my my author was really concerned that someone else had written a book with that title or something close to it, called Think Outside the Boss. And our editor from the publisher said, first of all, you can't copyright a book title. There's no such thing. So you're not in any legal jeopardy. Plus, the book he was referring to was kind of a fan fiction romance novel, one of a series, and all the book covers had very hunky looking executives, guys. And it was sort of a fantasy relationship with this amazing persona. And our editor said nobody in their right mind would confuse the two books.
No.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, thank you so much. I just dropped in the chat the order in which folks showed up. So why don't we give everybody, let's say, I said, what, 3 minutes? Michael Pilla, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. My name is Michael Pilla. The name of the company is Pilla Creative Marketing. I basically create branding for small businesses, nonprofits, branding and digital marketing. I really like the phrase digital transformation, which is maybe like 3 minutes away from becoming a cliche, but I think it sort of explains what's going on as far as what I do with my clients. I have a related business that is really sort of my passion, which is called Clicks for Ticks. And it's I refer to it as drama-free branding for arts and culture. And it's basically get the audience out of their house and into yours. And I've basically been focusing on appealing to those kind of companies. I have a film festival, a local film festival I'm doing a lot of social media for. What else have we done? Like a local live entertainment venue, sort of like a local live entertainment venue that oddly enough, with a lot of these local places, they sort of push the fact that they're a nonprofit organization and sort of ignore the fact that they're an entertainment venue. You know, they sort of see themselves more as an institution than as something entertaining. And I keep telling people, nobody buys a ticket because it's good for them. You know, you basically need to drag them in first. You know, once let them know what they're donating to. You know, let them know what the end result of their patronage is before you try to hit them up for some money. So it's basically trying to get them focused on what it is they really do. Which is funny. I mean, a lot of my business is getting clients to focus on what their real business is, you know, and it seldom is what they think it is. And it's usually a lot simpler than they make it, you know. I'm always encouraging my clients to look at their business from the outside in rather than the inside out, because from the inside out, they get caught in all the internal stuff and they just basically make a lot of assumptions as to how they're coming across in the marketplace. And a lot of times they're just blowing past their target market. So let's, you know, my job is to basically, I fill the shoes of the audience. You know, I don't, you know, when we're doing this, I generally don't do a lot of preparation. I basically let them show them their stuff as it exists. And I basically go over my first gut impressions as to what it is they're doing. And so we sort of create this really nice information loop between what they want to do and what they think they're doing. You know, that's sort of where I come in. So
are you looking for anything in particular right now?
again, I'm looking to really really, really grow the arts and culture part of the business. So any of the theaters, film festivals, individual filmmakers, museums, public art projects, anything that fits into that niche. I really don't care about the size at this point because I'm just looking to build up something of a reputation. So, even local theaters, the only thing I won't do is individual artists because a lot of them don't have any money. So I'm not, not running a charity yet, maybe if this thing grows, I can start another, I can start a foundation or something. But until then, I need people who can help me pay my bills. So.
Makes sense. Thank you
Right.
very much. Steve Guberman, you want to take it over?
Sure, thanks. Nice to meet everybody. I met John, I think a week or two ago on a different group, so it's good to see you again, John, but I don't think I've met anybody else here. I own a coaching practice called Agency Outsight, where I work with owners of marketing, creative, and advertising agencies to help them build the agency of their dreams. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching and group mastermind groups of agency owners. Most of the things that we dig into are surrounding people, pricing, process, positioning, and then the owner's personal balance with the business. That looks a lot like what my story was when I owned my agency, where I launched the agency thinking I'm going to make a ton of money, only work with the best clients, and be able to cut out half days on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And a year or two in, I was working 60, 70 hours a week, taking any client I could get. And it was very haphazard and not strategically growth oriented. And when I remembered to pay myself, I was making minimum wage. So what was the point to it all? So helping, right size all of those wrongs with agency owners is a big aspect of what we do. The groups that I facilitate are mastermind groups of agency owners. They're broken up by size of agency based on headcount, not revenue. So one cohort is solopreneurs that maybe have their first employee or about to have their first employee. And the other cohort, I think currently ranges from about 6 to 18 employees. Those groups max out at 6 people, and they're very much focused on goals and accountability and walking and talking through challenges that each owner has in a round table format. So for me, I'm looking to meet agency owners anywhere in the country. No agency is too small, but I try to not work with agencies that are over about 75 headcount, and I don't work with agencies that have more than 3 partners or are part of a holding company. So that's primarily who I am and what I'm doing.
Based in New Jersey, correct?
Yes.
Oh, where in New Jersey?
I'm in
Sorry.
Roxbury.
Oh, I'm in Tenafly, so.
Okay.
Not too far. All right.
Yes.
Christine Reite. Is it Reite or right?
It's right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Got it wrong.
No, all good. It's one of those tricky names.
Go for it.
I'm Christine Wright. I this year have taken my freelance design business full time. Wright Design is the name, and what I'm really focusing on is kind of your small to mid-size clients. I really feel like my good niche is to kind of become their design partner, really help them with, making sure they're communicating to their clients and, getting the business they want. So that's really what I've been working on this year, and that's really my focus. So just really right now looking for more clients, also just networking, because I spent 10 years in wine and spirits and 6 of those years working from home. So just trying to get out there and meet people. So,
Is wine and spirits an area that you want to continue focusing on?
I definitely still would like to focus, or I'd still like to work in wine and spirits, but I'm open to pretty much any kind of business. I've worked with real estate agents. I've worked in consumer packaged goods. Let's see. I mean, there's really probably, if anybody showed up on my doorstep, I'd be interested. Like, I like a challenge. I like to get into it. I like to do a little research. So yeah.
And where are you based?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Right.
So
Wonderful.
Christine, hi. Do you focus on web and online stuff, or print, or a little both?
I pretty much do any and all. So probably, I mean, I'm not a big like program a website from like code, but I can
Yeah.
definitely
Oh,
put
no.
something up for you. I definitely work on social media. I would love to do more print, but I really think, it's really more digitally based. So, people are taking PDFs and running with them, and,
Well, except for packaging, because that's
packaging. I love packaging. That's great too. So yeah, well, so yeah.
Wonderful. All right. And you were prior to going freelance, who are you working with?
Before going freelance, I was with the design with the wine group here in Livermore. So yeah.
Very cool. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Rajiv Jadhav.
Okay, thank you for this. Yeah, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So has it ever happened to you when your little one approaches you and says, "Daddy, Mommy, what is a douchebag?" And you look at them with horror and wonder, why are they asking you this question? But more importantly, where is this question coming from? And you ask them this, and with tears streaming down their cheeks, they say, well, this is what the kids at school are saying about you when they looked you up on Google. And then now this is a very uncomfortable conversation to have. I hope that none of you have had to deal with this or know somebody that's had to deal with it. But the good news is that if you do, there is a solution. And the solution is fighting fire with fire. And by that, I mean getting rid of it. Because no matter what that connection is, even a negative, like a negative of a negative is still negative. It's not like math where two negatives make a positive. If somebody accuses somebody of not being a pedophile, just by that, it has the word pedophile in it, people start saying, what? He's a pedophile? Really? So you don't want to deal with that BS, and that can be completely damaging and completely devastating to your personal brand and your business. And when people see that, they don't look past that. They're not worried about context. They just make a snap judgment and then think the worst of you. And that can completely destroy, obliterate your business that you've taken your blood, sweat, and tears to build, taken your entire life to build, and that can come completely crashing down in a single instant and can completely go up in smoke. So the solution to that is by getting rid of those bad, nasty, heinous things that people are saying, and that's what we do. We erase scandal, we erase misinformation, we erase falsities from Google, social, and the internet. And the reason why I do this is because my mission in life is to make the world or leave the world a more harmonious, happy, and connected place than what I found it. And one of the ways to make it more happier is by alleviating people's stress. And scandal can be a great cause for stress of people. So that's basically why I do what I do. We have a success guarantee. Would love to chat with the new people in the room, Michael, Stephen, and Christine. I don't think we met before. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I put my calendar link. Let's definitely jump on a call. And for those that I haven't spoken to recently, let's definitely chat up as well, because as some of you may know, I've been creating a lot of conferences with the United Nations, and I'm looking for speakers for a few of them. So definitely talk to me about that. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely. All right. Ron Hubsher.
That's tough following the assassin, I'll tell you that right now. Just a question for Michael, Stephen, and Christine. John, I think might know what we do, and Rajiv probably knows. Do you guys face pricing pressure in your industry, or clients trying to take your prices down?
Yes.
Constant.
Okay. Michael?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Okay. Okay. Stephen, not so much.
No, I don't believe in negotiating.
Excellent, man. I love that. That's beautiful. So what we do is we help companies increase their close rates and reduce discounting and command price premiums in the marketplace. I run a negotiation, training, and consulting company. We usually work with the people we're looking to get introduced to are business sales forces. So we work from everyone with like Google, ADP, ADT. Generally, you need like 10 salespeople or more for us to work together. But it's all direct sales forces. We help them command price premiums, reduce discounting, and create long-term relationships. If anybody needs help negotiating a deal, and Stephen, I like people who don't negotiate. That's awesome. Always sell value, which is awesome. I have a book, and we can download it from our website, or if you can always call me, Michael, Stephen, and Christine. I invited you to connect on LinkedIn. And just as an example, we have a client this week we work with. Does anybody play blackjack?
Yeah.
John, play blackjack?
That's
Stephen? So if you ever play blackjack, there's a thing called US playing cards, who makes that card that you play blackjack with. So we've worked with it called US Playing Cards in Cincinnati. They also make the B brand. I'm sorry, the bicycle brand. So if you ever played bicycle. So we've worked with them. Yeah, right. So we worked them for about 10 years. They went from 55% market share to a 95% market share. And we're doing a program for them coming on Friday. So that's what we do. And again, anybody who's interested, happy to help anybody here. And we're always looking for introductions to B2B sales forces.
So
and then Stephen, what does the 5 stand for? I'm sorry.
Who do they sell to? Do they sell to casinos? Is that their?
Yeah, they sell to casinos.
Right.
So
and
large
their
casino
B2B.
groups like the Hard Rock and,
Right.
It's becoming more and more
Las
large
Vegas.
conglomerates. And they have people who are going in there, you have foreign competition will say, we'll take, 25% off a deck of cards. So what they talk about is our cards are more perfect. So there'll be no jam in the shuffle. And so we have a whole value calculator, right? What's the cost of what's the cost of downtime or a mucked hand? And then for Baccarat, where you really have high ticket players, I'm sorry, a bad hand can cost the casino like $50,000, right? If you have to replay the hand, that's like $50,000 of lost time. So there's we do a value selling bump. Did that make sense, by the way?
Yeah.
And just one little tidbit: the card you get in Las Vegas is different than the card you get in Atlantic City because of the humidity. So they put a little different layer on it, so it won't stick. So just a little card knowledge.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. That's good to know. All right. So I will go unless I've missed somebody. Let me make sure I haven't.
I think you're up.
I'm up. All right. I will go back into speaker mode. I'll put the timer on. Good to see everybody. And Christine, sorry that I didn't remember our call if it was late last year.
It was late.
It was a while ago. So my name is Michael Bendit. I run this networking group, of course. And the reason I run it is because most of my business comes from networking and referrals with people that are also in the marketing world. So my core business is selling software development services, and I often team up with other agencies. Christine, you mentioned that programming is not your forte. Well, that's exactly what we do. We team up with agencies and designers who are not as comfortable programming but don't want to turn down the business. So they partner with one of my teams. And that can be white labeled, or it could be whatever the right partnership is for you and your client. Been doing this for about, 13 years now. I started in February of 2011 working with one agency at one development shop. I now have about a dozen teams. We do a lot of WordPress. We do a lot of Shopify work. We do some mobile work. And we also work in other platforms like Magento and Drupal, things that aren't as common as they used to be. But sometimes people still have those platforms. They're sort of stuck with them. The range of teams, it's a dozen teams, and there are lots of platforms out there, but there's also other dimensions to why you might want to choose one team versus another, besides the platforms that they're on. And that is, what is their price point? Are they a dual shore, offshore, near shore, domestic team? And those are some of the things that play into it. Most of my work actually is with my dual shore teams. That's because those are teams that have like one or two people here and most of their developers offshore. And it's just a good sort of balance between lower cost than a domestic team and not having to deal with potential issues going directly overseas. Always looking to meet other agencies, always looking for people to bring into this networking group as well. So anybody who who has a small agency or small consultancy in the marketing world, would love to meet them and see if they're into networking with peers. And I will stop it there. I'll go back to gallery mode. And that's pretty much my pitch. If Christine and Michael and Steve's been here, I think you were part of the group a while back. Michael and Christine are completely new. John, Ron, and Rajiv and I are, of course, members. If you are interested in membership, we offer a 3-month trial. And then after that, it's $360 a year. So you get a sense for what it's like. If somebody does the trial, they need to show up at least once a month. We have meetings twice a month. I don't want to take your money if you're not going to show up. It's just not, it's not good for anybody. It's really about building the relationships. And by the way, now would be a great time for you to drop your contact information in the chat. And I'll ask everybody to just download that all at once, save the chat all at once. That's pretty much it, unless you want to talk about anything. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if so this is specific to you, Michael. Did I ever introduce you to Sint Mo?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so basically she runs a dev shop, and I told her what you do and how you kind of work with dev shops and, you kind of like get them business and stuff like that. So
Yep.
she's like super stoked to meet you. So
Happy to
if
meet her.
yeah, so what I usually do is I do like a LinkedIn chat introduction.
Sure.
Would that work for you, Michael?
Absolutely. What's her name? How do you spell it?
It's a strange name. So it's Sint Mo. That's Sint with S-I-N-T. Sint and Mo, M-O-E. I think that name comes from Myanmar or something. But please don't quote me on it. I could be wrong.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always happy to talk to other developers. I mean, I'm pretty much set with the teams that I have, but every once in a while, I'll meet somebody who's got a unique offering, and it's good to know about what
So
they
what
do.
she does is she has this concept called the 21-day sprint, where she kind of solves a mission critical business challenge in 21 days for businesses. So they kind of like work really fast. And apparently, at least what she tells me is that some businesses complain that she's too fast. And they often get very scared, like, oh my God, you're too fast. You know what? Let's just pull the plug. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, really? I thought like speed was like a premium thing that most people like, but
yeah, not everybody can keep up.
Well, it's only 3 weeks, I mean.
Yeah,
See
21
it.
days. Cool. So,
yeah, so
thank you. Yeah, I would be happy to talk to Sint. So definitely send he, she, they.
Oh, please don't even start that. Don't even start that.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Did you say she?
It's a she.
She. Okay. I can't tell by the name Sint.
I know. That's like a very yeah.
You can't tell by the pronouns either, so
All right, well, have Sint send or connect us, please, online or via email or whatever. LinkedIn is great as well. So thank you all. Thank you, John, for giving us a little bit of a showcase. Our next meeting is on May 14th. I have to do some juggling on that, but if there is a change, I will let everyone know. And I hope to see you all again that's actually 3 weeks from now. Since we only do it twice a month, every once in a while, we'll have a 3-week gap.
What country will you be in then?
I should be back in the US. I'm coming back. Leaving. We're here until May 4th. So what do they call that? Is that the Star Wars Day or something?
Oh, yeah, yes. The fourth
May the fourth be with you. Yeah.
Right, yes, that's it. Go, yeah.
May the 4th. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you to our guests. Now's a great time to download that chat. So if you go to the chat window, I think for most of us, it is on the top right. There's those three dots. You click that. First thing that comes up is save chat. And definitely follow up with one another.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, all.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks for joining.
That's it,
Take
everybody.
care.
John, very impressive, by the way.
Cheers.
Bye.
Adios.